Here is a message for David Korn, who has a blog on the internet. And I just want him to know that Greg Gutfeld, from my understanding, is an atheist. Now, he's a conservative or libertarian, but he's an atheist. The reason I say that is because of this article you see on the screen, written by David Korn, or the byline is attributed to David Korn, and it says it's a good time to start worrying about Christian nationalism. Yes, it's a time to start worrying about the far left, worrying about Christian nationalism. Now, here's something else I need to inform David Korn about. I think he probably knows this, but maybe he's just playing dumb, or people agree with him playing it dumb. But that is back in 1776, when the United States first became a nation. And before that, the formative years, the colonial years, decades, centuries, 99.99999% of all Americans were some iteration of Christian. Even the deists, these people who kind of sort of believe maybe there's a higher power out there, well, they were a type of Christian, kind of loosely, jointly affiliated with Christianity, but Christians nonetheless. Everybody was a Christian. So America did not need to be founded as a Christian nation. It was just understood. It's a Christian nation. Everybody in America was a God-fearing, Bible-thumping, whiskey-drinking Christian. So where did this fundamentalist movement come from? Well, that showed up in the early 20th century, maybe the late 19th century, but the fundamentalist movement, which has these people terrified, was a reaction, a response to the encroachment of theological liberalism and its ramifications, which was secularism. So up until the onset of the 20th century, America was not only founded as a Christian nation, or Christian nation, I should say, as it was founded. It was Christian before it was founded, and it was Christian all the way up to the dawn of the 20th century, and so it remained, even though secularism and its left-wing components began to encroach on the country, and naturally there was a response, there was a reaction. And the first response was fundamentalism. This is nothing new. It's been around for well over 100 years. And these guys say it's time to start worrying about Christian nationalism. Now, it's time to realize that America is, or was, not founded as a Christian nation, but Christian as it was founded. They don't seem to get this, and they call us worrywarts for noticing that they're noticing. Here's a sentence from his article. In response to the rising concern among liberals and others about the spread of Christian nationalism, I don't even know what that is. Can you define Christian nationalism? I've heard a lot about it, but I've never actually seen them give us a good definition, and they probably ought to start doing that, they being secular leftists. Conservative voices have been pressing a counterattack, claiming all this fretting is just lefty hysteria. I'm going to agree with that. He's being sarcastic, but I agree with him nonetheless. From secularists who are not willing to acknowledge the role of Christianity in American society, that's true, and who want to brand all this is a sentence. It's a long sentence, but it's a sentence. And who want to brand all politically active Christians as extremists, which is exactly what this guy is doing. Now, he refers to the Heritage Foundation as a far-right organization, and it seems that they have this movement. What is it called? I think it's called something 2025. I don't know. Scroll down here. Here it is. Project 2025. And this is apparently a movement to bring America back to God. Why do these people fear evangelical Christianity? The reason is because they tend to be conservative. They tend to be anti-Marxist, anti-authoritarian, even though they accuse the far right of being authoritarian. I don't even know if there is a far right, but but if you're not a left-wing moonbat, if you're not a woke leftist, then you are by default far right, according to these people. But the point of all that being this: before Project 2025, there was the moral majority. Remember that back in the 1970s? And before the moral majority, there was the silent majority. Remember that? 1960s, early 1970s. You know, this movement has always been there. Barry Goldwater was by no means a conservative Christian, but he was very conservative. It's kind of like Greg Gutfeld, only I think Gutfeld was more sane than was Goldwater. But it goes all the way back to the early 20th century, you know, the fundamentalist movement. So what he says is this this effectively new Christian nationalism has always been here. Long before there was even a nation, there was Christian nationalism. It is eroding, and it's probably going to continue to erode. There will always be secular conservatives, whether they like it or not, like Greg Gutfeld that we mentioned. But these people, this is what the woke left does, is they create monsters to scare people. You know, they dress up in their Halloween costumes, put on their mask, and they run around and try to scare people. Watch out, this Christian fundamentalism is going to take over our secular country. It never was a secular country. Stop and think about the founding universities. I think the top 10 founding universities in the country, all but one of them, the University of Pennsylvania, were founded, if I remember correctly, as Christian colleges. Harvard University was a seminary, training what we now call fundamentalists or evangelicals. And it morphed into a far left-wing institution. As far as I know, again, of the top 10 founding universities, 9 of the 10 were founded as Christian colleges, and we saw that erosion. And what conservative Christians are concerned about is the same thing as happening to society altogether. The far left would probably consider what they're doing a societal evolution. I'll give you one example, and this I think is kind of important. I did a story a couple of days ago about Canada, the Supreme Court, ruling that the word woman is, what did they say? It was something like slanderous you're supposed to refer to these people as people with lady parts, only they didn't say lady parts, they said the actual part. But the word woman is somehow discriminatory against women. And I took that article and I wrote it and then I put it on Chat GPT or whatever it is to correct spelling and grammar, punctuation and all that. And what it gave me was this message. It didn't do what I asked it to do. It gave me this message informing me something about the evolution of language and its changes, and kind of shaming me for even publishing an article about the insanity of the woke left in Canada, specifically the Supreme Court, which had ruled that the word woman discriminated against women. Societal evolution? No, that's degradation. Cause for hysteria? Well, they say it's lefty hysteria from secularists. Yeah, I would say so. Or just maybe not hysteria. Maybe just insanity. There's a circle on your screen. If you push that, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Then there's a rectangle on the screen. Click that and you can view more videos like this one.